This would probably help if I push the record button. You guys hear me? Am I here? All right. What's up, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. Real quick, I wanted to jump into a video here and just talk a little bit about these Godox speedlights that I've been using for the last 4 years. But before I do, I just wanted to tell you that please excuse the setup. I was not intending on making a video whatsoever today. As a matter of fact, I was sitting here polishing up one of the lighting diagrams for my new Patreon page, which is going to be really, really cool. And I'm so excited to finally launch this thing. It's been a lot of work here for me behind the scenes. I'm doing special podcasts. I'm doing deconstruction diagrams of photos and setups and going through my behind the scenes videos and breaking stuff down and a lot of things that are going to be great on the educational front. So really soon that's going to be launching. I'm going to make a separate video letting you know when that's launched and the details of what I'm going to be doing. And if that's something that you're interested in, definitely comment down below on this video so I can reach out to you on a one-to-one level, because I'm going to have a limited time early bird special once I open up the doors to that for a limited amount of people. So keep that in mind. Really cool stuff. Now, when I was sitting here, I was doing a lighting diagram for wedding receptions, and that's a really tricky thing for people because that also could apply for just general event photography and things like that. And as I was diagramming it out, I realized, I always wanted to talk about the Godox speedlights because this was a major switch that I did, and now it's been like 40 years since I've had these things, and they are just phenomenal. And I've always, and my assistants can attest to this, like so many times we'll be on the way to a wedding or I'll be taking them out of my camera bag, and I'm like, man, the irony is that I talk so much about like the off-camera lights and the Profoto and the Elechrome system I've had and all this stuff, but like I never talk about speed lights. So I'm going to do that now. So basically the reason I even have this is because I, of course, I've had Canon forever, and I had the Canon, the 600 RT flashes, and those were really cool. And at $600 a piece, they better have been, at least when I bought them. And I got them, I think it was 2012 or 13, and I had them for several years. Really, really cool setup. No complaints, but actually there is a complaint. The complaint is that they took AA batteries, and in order to use them at volume at a wedding reception, where I'm literally taking like a couple thousand pictures at a wedding reception in some cases, I had to use the external battery packs, which was like another, I think, 8 AA batteries that you have to put in there. And it was just annoying to have to like charge 8 and then another 4 batteries per flash. And I usually roll with 3 or 4 flashes for an event. So I wanted something better. And then lo and behold, one of my assistants said, hey man, you should check out Godox. And this is really where I first became introduced to Godox just as a brand in general. And so reluctantly, I went ahead and I did just that. And I picked up these flashes. Now, many of you know, and if you don't know, and you're just watching this out of the blue, you'll know that I never use TTL. Like, I am a manual guy. I use manual exposure mode on my camera. I have for the last 10 years since I've been a professional photographer. And the same goes with flash. I don't use automatic flash in any situation. The reason for that is because I need to have a complete control over the flash at all times. I need to have a very consistent result so that when I get back and do my edits, there isn't this fluctuation going on depending upon what the camera happened to detect or meter or whatever, right? So that's very important. And I'm going to teach all that stuff inside my Patreon page at a later point. But so that's really cool though, and important to understand, because when it came time to buy these, I had a choice. They have different versions, and the ones I got are these 850s, the Victor 850 Mark II. Victor, listen to me. That's aviation talk, I'm sorry. V850 Mark IIs. And these are a manual only flash, and they have, the most important thing is they have these rechargeable battery packs. And these things are really incredible. I have used these for 4 years. I mean, I shoot, 20, 30 weddings a year times 4. And not once have I ran out of battery power at any of these events. And as a matter of fact, typically when at the end of a wedding reception, when I pull down the light stands and I look at these, the battery indicator on these things is usually at like half full, which just blows my mind. So that is why I bought these. And I've always like half suspected that these would never like last or like stand the test of time, and I've really been wrong. These have really been incredible, and I've had no issues. And I have 3 of them here, and they've just been great. The build quality on these things is phenomenal. I would say it's identical to that of what my Canon flashes were. When you turn the head, they have like a nice, robust, sturdy feeling. They're not going to just flop around, you know what I mean? Like they're going to stay right where you put them. The buttons are very tactile in their feel. They don't feel cheap. It doesn't feel chintzy at all. And right now, I mean, I think these are like $110 on B&H or $120 or something like that. That's just blows my mind. I mean, at that price, these are almost disposable. I mean, I hate to say it that way. And not that $120 is cheap, but you get my point. Like for a tool that's as useful as this, that's just incredible. Now, the other thing I wanted to quickly talk about here and give my thoughts on is the radio system. Now, I've used these mainly in conjunction with the, what is this, the X Pro remote. This is the old one. I've been told there's a new one out. I just don't care because this one works just fine. And it's very simple and easy to use. Turn it on. I have all my flashes there. I can control them. And this is really great because typically I run a full off-camera flash setup. Typically, I triangulate my area. I have these set up on different ratios. I have them in different groups, and I use them for different things at different times. And this has been really great. At no point have I had any failures other than running out of batteries in the remote in all the years that I've used these flashes. And that it really does blow my mind because when I had the Canon flashes, after this second year of ownership, I had to send one of them in for service because the flash tube or whatever this is failed on it. But and that's not a knock to say that it was bad. Stuff like that can happen. But so far, knock on wood, these have been great, and they've held up really well. And I just wanted to let you guys know that go buy them. I mean, it's awesome. The other thing I'll mention in terms of using mods and things on these, I know that there's a company called Magmod that's very popular, and people tell me all the time, and a lot of my photographer friends are ambassadors for Magmod, and I do think that Magmod makes some really cool, innovative products. I never got into that. I never really bought into that, mainly because space in my camera bag comes at a premium. And the Magmod adapters are kind of bulky. They go on there. The other thing I'm not crazy about with Magmod is that it really kind of adds a lot of weight to the flash. And when you're holding the flash all day long at a wedding, that can be a little bit annoying. I mean, it's not like that heavy, but it's still like it's just extra bulk on the flash. So I just use these bands, these rubber bands. As a matter of fact, I have a 7-year-old son. I was at his one of his friends' birthday parties last year, and it was alligator themed. And this was the wristband that that they were passing out to all the kids. And they were these really thick rubber bands, and I was like, oh, that's nice. I'll take 3 of those, and I just use them on my speed lights. I have a green one here to indicate this is my master light that I use on camera, and this one is set to master mode, so I can actually control the other 2 as remote lights from this without even needing the remote, which is really great, just like I could with the Canon flashes. And I find for gels and things, I just keep it very simple and very old school. I just have these old, I mean, this is like 10 years old, this gel, and I just use it in the rubber band, and that works fine for me. But yeah, these things have been great, guys. And if you're in the market for speed lights and you don't want to break the bank, and you're thinking to yourself, how good could a $120 speed light possibly be, or whatever the price of these things are now, yeah, really is very, very good. I'm very, very surprised. The other thing that these things have is the pull-out card, just like the Canon flashes had, which is really cool. Not once have I ever used it, but it's there, and it has this here for ultra-wide shots when you go to 20 millimeters, which is supposed to distribute the light in a wider function. So that's been pretty cool too. Okay, I'll keep this video short because I don't want to bore you guys to death. Just a quick note that these Godox flashes are absolutely phenomenal. If you have any specific questions about the flashes, drop me a comment below. Get ready for the Patreon announcement, and I fully expect some of you to join immediately. I'm going to incentivize you financially to do so, and that's going to be a really awesome platform going forward to learn all the ins and outs of what I do. Really, really cool stuff. Guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk soon. See ya.